the second part, and an important part from your perspective, is that we will pay out in full the first $1,500 of each and every person here that has an account with the bank. Whether it's an account with 35 million on it, or whether it's an account with $10 on it, or whether it's an account with $1,500 on it. In every respect, the first $1,500, or some part of that, because if it's a smaller balance, will be paid off, again, within a few short days of the bank being rescued and being opened.
A presentation was made sharing with the public Kasoy's plan to get back the creditors their money and at the same time make TCI Bank once again a working and sustainable bank. The Kasoy Group is an investor group that has over 100 years of banking experience, including experience in major global finance markets. The presentation covered several key points that the Kasoy Group wishes to implement in TCI Bank, a few of which were proposed funding. The investor group will inject a minimum of $6.2 million cash in the form of a new equity into the bank for a minimum of 51% stake. Existing TCIB investors are granted options to subscribe up to $5.8 million in cash in new capital, giving them a maximum of 49% stake. For the existing investor options not taken up, the investor group will purchase the remaining shares, resulting in initial cash injection of $12 million cash from new equity. Investor Group has written deposit confirmations for year one of $29.5 million as a minimum to $37.5 million with a maturity 18 months up to 3 years. Investor Group continues having positive discussions with other potential deposit investors. Use of new funding. $5.5 million used to repay NIB loan, which has priority security over the TCIB assets. $2.5 million will be used to repay the preferential creditors of the TCIB in salaries and wages obligations. $1,500 to each depositor. $4 million will be sued in the operations of the bank. Other topics covered included introduction of the investor group, organizational structure and key personnel, strategy and vision, depositor options, and future of the TCI Bank. Along with information regarding the Kasoy Group, Executive Board member Les Clark gave his opinions regarding another investor group bidding for TCI Bank, Eastern Caribbean Bank. And some residents found this unfair as there were no representatives from this group present at the gathering. Not only this, but each creditor when entering the Tropicana Plaza for the meeting was handed a flyer by Kasoy Group, which asked of the public to pick which investor group should be the group to take over TCI Bank. Aubrey Butterfield, a TCI resident and creditor of the bank, heatedly told Clark that the public could not yet make an informed decision about which bidding investment group should be the one to take over TCI Bank.
I, one, cannot vote on, as a creditor, I cannot speak for the others, but I cannot vote on a support of a proposal until I've heard the other offerees who have made their proposals to the liquidators, which has to be before the courts between now and the return date, which is August 3rd. Now, at the end of the day, after the people have heard both or all of the offers, then they can vote and say, well, I think the Kasoy proposal is better, or I think the EC proposal is better, or I think that the Temple Ultimate proposal is better. But this tonight, I think, is going in the wrong direction, and I think it's a bit misleading.
Clark made an attempt to clear the air, stating that it was not the intention of the meeting to attack any other bidding groups, but the purpose was to educate the public about the Kasoy Group and warn the public of offers that may seem too good to be true.
I just wanted to emphasize to all of you that time is of the essence. All of the bidding parties here have had more than enough opportunity to come forward with final definitive offers. Those of us who've been in the centre of this process know that many of them have promised to come up with various other offers in the past and have failed. Now, I'm not saying that any other party not here present tonight is not going to meet their obligation to do that, but past history gives me some skepticism.
Even after this explanation, Butterfield continued to press his views and carried on the argument with John Phillips, member of the supervisory board for the Kasoy Group. However, eventually the meeting did wind up with creditors leaving Tropicana with another offer to consider from the Kasoy Group to choose them to run TCI Bank instead of liquidation. This coming Saturday, the creditors will meet again to hear the bidding of Eastern Caribbean Bank. News 4 will be there to bring you the highlights.